today we're going to be talking about how to double your profits. Now, each one of the people in this room, I have to say, have amazing different ways that you can double your profits. And by the way, saving money is making money. That's one thing I always like to say. Ryan's heard me say that before. So, Don, you're obviously on the screen with me first. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off, and then we'll just kind of go around the room and everybody talk about different ways that Amazon sellers or sellers in general can just save money. Go ahead, Don.
Sure. Well, I'm Don Hennig. I'm one of the co-founders of AccrueMe, and I've built many different businesses in my career, from entertainment to mortgages to publishing to real estate and on and on and on, technology. And when I got into this industry, I'm the newest to this industry out of this entire group by far. But I started noticing certain things. And initially I was looking at sellers primarily in the wholesale channel. And I started seeing some of them did really well, and some of them didn't do so well. So I started looking into it and started talking to a bunch of them, digging deeper. And I found that the ones that did really well, they buckled down, got up early, they gave themselves goals. And I've heard that throughout the day today about setting goals, but setting goals that were bigger than even I was thinking, where, the name of the game in wholesale, the way I understand it, is getting the suppliers. So you have the product. Well, instead of going out and making, trying to find one supplier, they would go out and make a minimum of 10 supplier calls a day. They're working their asses off. That's the way to do it. The private label people I talk to, it's not about the products that they have today necessarily, but it's about finding that next product. And if you look at 2 products and you say, I think this one's better than that one, well, maybe you need to look at 20 products to narrow it down to 5, and then to narrow it down to the final one that you want to launch next. So it comes down, in my mind, to working harder than you did before. And I understand the whole 4-hour work week, and I believe in that. But to get started and to get that jump start, it's about working hard, getting more product than you could use. And once you have more product, then, obviously, and, this is self-serving, but you're going to need the capital. And to get the capital without having to make interest payments, without having to make monthly required payments, without taking your profits and sending it to a bank, that's life-changing. It's never been done before. Nobody's ever even tried to do it before. We didn't know if it would work when we started it. Would anybody ever pay us? But it turns out that, yes, we get paid when it's right for you and your business. So the model makes sense. It works. So I'm going to keep it short right now. I know we all have things to say, but in my mind, you get up, you work harder than you ever did before. You set a plan, you set some goals, and a simple goal like in wholesale, 10 supplier calls a day. And if I could do them before 10 o'clock in the morning, then my day is going to be phenomenal. I am going to kill it the rest of the day. And then get to the point where you need money to grow and double your business. Give us a call.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you go. That's the way to kick it off.
That's great. Thanks, Don. And so, Liz, why don't you do a quick intro, and why don't you go ahead and jump in there, and let's talk about what ways people can double their profits or save money and make money.
Okie dokie. I'm Liz. I'm with Takeometrics. I'm the e-commerce marketing manager there on the content team, do a lot of webinars. You probably, if you've been around a while, recognize me. Also, I was formerly with Ecom Engine. Still one of my favorite companies in the industry. So my understanding of Amazon sort of spans a couple of different paths. So I was thinking about doubling your money on Amazon, which is like kind of I've actually talked to people this year who did it in 2020, believe it or not. And some of the ways they did that were, first of all, by reducing inefficiencies. So Don spoke to inventory, right? And I think that inventory is a pain point for wholesale resellers. It's also a pain point for brands that are selling on Amazon. If you're not properly managing your inventory, you're losing money hand over fist instead of making money hand over fist. You're paying extra storage fees. If you get dinged with a lower IPI score on Amazon Inventory Performance Index, there are extra fees associated with that. And you're just not making the money that you need to make. So paying attention to your inventory, making sure you rescue your stranded inventory, that's all very, very, very important. And we can talk more about that later if we have time. If you've got questions about that, you can. No, it's not Dave Grohl. It's George Harrison. So got a question about the painting. So it's all 4 Beatles back there. I'm a fan. But so inventory is a big thing. It's a big deal. And if you obviously are selling great, your sell-through is great, and you're running out of inventory, if you've got a capital situation, then that's the time to call Don and Robbie, because that's how you can just amp up and order more inventory, which I think is a great thing that they're offering. Another thing that I'm seeing, I've been talking to Yoni at Gatita a lot lately, and the money that sellers and brand owners are leaving on the table in terms of their possible reimbursements from Amazon is staggering. It's absolutely staggering. And it's really hard to go yourself into the different places in Seller Central to figure out where you might be owed money. So I strongly suggest you start paying really close attention to that stuff. And Yoni, actually, I just did a webinar with him not too long ago, and I can send a link to Robbie to send out, and if there's going to be a recap email. But he actually tells you how to do it yourself. So if you don't want to actually hire a service or get some software that helps you with that, he actually does tell you how to go in and see all the different places that you might be owed money from Amazon, because it's not like they're going to call you up or email you and say, hey, we owe you money. Here, we're so sorry. They're just too big and there's too much going on, and that's just not the way it works at Amazon. So reducing that inefficiency and picking up any money that's left on the table, opening cases in a responsible way. Don't hire a service that automates that, because Amazon doesn't like that at all. That's against policy. Paying attention to Amazon policy too. If you guys are here for Chris McCabe's presentation, he told you all the ways to avoid suspension, right? There's no better way to not double your Amazon profit than to get suspended on Amazon. And there are so many different ways you can get suspended. You can get your ASIN suspended. You can get your whole account suspended. And it could be for something that you didn't even do wrong, right? You're not doing a black hat tactic. You're not doing something shady, but maybe you make a mistake because you didn't understand a change in Amazon's policy, or maybe an ASIN gets suspended because there's something wrong with your listing. That's a lot to pay attention to, but it's all very, very important. So I know that Jeff spoke earlier today about being hypervigilant, about setting up good practices, figuring out how you're going to actually look at all your data, how you're going to look at your overall account health. And that's super important. Like, for instance, you could lose your Amazon account for your order defect rate dropping below where it's supposed to be. And that can happen with seller feedback. Your seller feedback rating gets too low, and that can tank your ODR, and then boom, you've got to do a lot of work to get reinstated. You're losing money every single second, and it's a big bad thing. So making sure you understand all of Amazon's policies is always that. I probably should have started there, because it's sort of like the hill that I die on every day. but you can't go to Amazon and say, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the rules. It's your responsibility as a player on the platform to understand every single rule, to pay attention to every single policy page, and to know when something changes, whether Amazon notifies you that it changed or not. So paying attention to presentations like these, when somebody says, hey, there's a policy change, that's a huge thing to do. And it's good to participate in networking type activities. There are a lot of groups on Facebook that talk about best practices for Amazon sellers. There are Reddit threads. A couple of them are reputable, a couple of them are not. So, pay attention to where you're getting your information. But a lot of times, and seller forums too. So that's another way that you can make sure you're staying within the rules, you're keeping up with the trends, and you're also keeping up with changes in Amazon policy that might not be explicitly stated. Like, for instance, the rumors are no more all caps and bullets, right? In your listing. But as of the last time I looked, I don't think that that's actually stated explicitly anywhere in policy. And I don't think that it's rolling out and every single person that's got all caps in their listings is getting their listing taken down. But I think that just like with everything, it's slowly creeping through, and that could actually be trouble. So listening to what's going on and making sure you're following the latest in Amazon policies is really, really important. And finally, optimize, right? So those listings need to be optimized. Your product photos need to be great. I did a webinar with Snap 36 not too long ago, and they do 360 photography, and it's awesome, you know? So if you're a brand owner and you've got brand registry and you've got that A+ content, you can put those 360 images. There was one they showed where it was a foldable chair, and it actually, the image, it wasn't so much a video, except for it was an image that just showed how the chair worked, like how it folds up and how it unfolds. And that's super powerful when you're selling on Amazon and you've got a competitive category. Even if you don't have a competitive category, people are visual and they don't have the opportunity to pick up your product, obviously, because it's online. So what they have to go on are your product images, your product description, your bullet points, all that kind of stuff. So make sure your listings are super optimized. Make sure they completely accurately describe what the buyer is buying, because that's how you end up with returns. That's how you end up with bad reviews. You got to get those reviews, but that's not my area anymore. But I've got recommendations if you need reviews. There are ways to get them, but you need to make sure that it's always white hat, because Amazon is looking out for that hardcore. But optimizing your listings, making sure you've got your right keywords in there, that will lead to your proper advertising strategy. So if you are in a situation where you want to advertise an ASIN, you know, it's you're an exclusive seller on it. If you're a reseller, you're a brand and you're the only seller of the ASIN, you know, or you just want to throw some advertising money at, you know, an ASIN, you have to, if you have control of the listing, you absolutely have to make sure it's optimized, it's got the right keywords in it, so that your advertising strategy works. Because another way that you don't double your Amazon profits is throwing a ton of money at your advertising and not know what you're doing.
Absolutely. All right, Liz, thank you.
This content is brought to you by AccrueMe, the business-friendly funding solution for Amazon sellers. If you're a profitable Amazon seller looking for capital to grow your profits, click the link around this video or visit AccrueMe.com for a no-risk funding estimate in less than 3 minutes.
Patricio, go ahead. Nice to meet you finally. Oh, hit your, you got to hit your button for the mic. There you go.
There you go. All right, yeah. Thanks, Robbie. So I mean, I think there's talking about doubling your sales on Amazon. There's of course like many things that we can talk about, and we'll probably talk about here. But I think it's important to know that like there's a lot of little things that you want to do as you start to grow your business that in aggregate will very probably double or more than double and help you grow your business. And we can talk about the many things that like they're like common knowledge, like right of course the things you gotta do and you gotta be doing if you're selling, like you're watching your inventory turnaround. Don't depending on what you're doing, even if you're doing private label, like you wanna be very like meticulous about inventorying and how much you're gonna buy and watching out for those fees and all that. You want to be like you said, Don. You want to be like on the phone. You want to be sending a lot of emails. If you're doing wholesale, it's all about volume, right? So you need to have. So it doesn't matter if you already have a great supplier, a great product. You want to have more. Like the best problem you can have is to have more product than money, right? And that's why AccrueMe guys are here for. But so you have to be like doing the work, putting the time. Just sending out those emails, being on the phone, being prepared before doing those calls. Of course, with the reimbursement and every little thing you can do, of course it adds up. But I would say if you really want to grow your business, you first have to be like very concerned and occupied with like learning the business and growing yourself. Because even if you are doing like wholesale or you're doing private label or whatever you're doing, any of the three business models, I talk to a lot of people that say, hey, like Patricio, I'm not interested in this wholesale tactics because I'm all about private label, right? But as you practice makes perfect, right? So as you practice more and do more, and you learn more about business, and you learn other tactics, and other business models here in Amazon, you have more knowledge to apply to whatever you're doing. So I would say, I mean, there's a few basic things that I think everyone should be looking at, whether you're selling private label or wholesale, which is like bundling. Like bundles are a very easy way to add margin to your bottom line, to your products, and even like if you do private label, for example, you want to be experiencing other products and what your customers are looking for outside your brand, and maybe thinking about bundles or of how you can add value to a customer that might not be looking for exactly your product, but might be looking for a related product. And if you offer a bundle that makes sense and brings value to that customer, that can be a buyer of your product at one point. And then you can have if the customer is satisfied with your product, maybe he was looking for the product you're bundling with, but you'll make a customer out of that. So I think bundles and multi-packs are a very smart way, an easy way really to start doing this, and to leverage on existing brands and existing popular brands. You can leverage on a popular products and do a multi-pack, for example, or even a bundle, and leverage off that brand's traffic. So I think that's one thing that many people know it's important. Everyone has heard about it, but until you're not doing that, launching a lot of products, launching a lot of bundles, that's gonna give you a whole different set of just a different skill set. If you're doing wholesale, you're gonna learn how to launch a product, but it's not as doing your private label, because you're leveraging on an existing brand with already an existing with existing demand. So that's, I think, something important. And this is one thing that we're doing a lot, especially in Mexico. And I'll talk about a little bit what we're doing in Mexico. But we're working with larger brands in Mexico. And again, the Mexican market is, of course, not as big as the U.S. market. So we need to make use of every resource we have to bring volume to these brands. So even with these large brands that we're working with, we're trying to see what products we can create, even with bundles that will bring volume to those brands. So I think that's something that everyone should be looking at. And then there's other things like, and with Liz here with Techometrics, I love the software. I'm a user. We've been using them for a good while now. And for example, with the campaigns, and we use the software, and we also do our own campaigns. If you're doing, for example, for the wholesale sellers out there, right? So you don't have the private label margins to work with. So you have to really watch very closely your campaigns and your ACOS, and you need to be very intentionated what and have a real clear goal on what are you what are you using those campaigns for. So many things that let's say campaigns that people look over is with low volume keywords. There's a lot of, again, in aggregate, you can be getting a couple sales here and there from low volume keywords. But they're not the most searched for keywords, but they're gonna bring a sale here and there, and your ACOS is gonna be very low. Same thing with long tail keywords. So many people, I think, make the mistake of going after the big volume. They run a keyword research on one of these tools or Google, and they go after those big keywords. So I think that's the same thing. Set up a campaign for all your inventory with very low bid, right? A very, very low bid. So that will bring some sales here and there with very low cost. And again, when you do that in aggregate, it's working. And if you do the work, if you put the work in optimizing those campaigns, understanding what's driving the sales and what's not, and you can also be working with if you have the volume to be working with a software like Techometrics. And I think so. Those are the sort of things where you're going to start not only increasing your sales, but also maximizing your profits. And same thing with. And last thing I'm going to say, I'm going to just give the mic back and we can talk a lot more about this. And there's other things that come to mind that you could be doing to increase your sales. But one is look outside the U.S. There's other markets, interesting markets. Same thing, similar to with the keyword game. There are other markets like the Mexican market. Mexico is probably one of the tiniest markets of Amazon. I don't know if the second to last, or somewhere in there. It's not the most exciting. It's not the most exciting market when you think of Amazon. But on the other hand, there is not a lot of competition. So if you want to launch a brand, or you already identified a ton of very popular products here in the U.S. where you might not be at the right price, or there's a ton of competition, or there's probably not that much competition in Mexico. So, and again, like I said, you can be trying to compete in the largest market in the world, and try to grab some crumbs out of that market. But on the other hand, you have a lot smaller market, but where you can get a larger piece of that pie. So in the end, in aggregate, when you add all these things up, you could grow considerably your Amazon business if you are strategic in those little efforts that you do. So I mean, and we can touch on some of these points and go deeper, but I want to just get the mic here out of everybody.
No, that's good info. And before I pass it over to Ryan, just real quick, please be sure to get in the chat, put in some questions. We'll be happy to get to them. Just trying to give everybody a chance to kind of introduce themselves and give out some information, and then we'll jump into the questions. We got plenty of time, so please get those questions. Let me kick it over to Ryan Kramer.
What's up, everyone? I know we're at the end of the day and everyone's tired and everyone's stretched at your home. So make sure you're excited to ask questions, because this is actual content that we're going to be giving you guys to make sure that even in the smallest margins, you're going to be starting adding that to your bottom line. So that's why I'm here today. Rob was super excited to ask me, or I was excited that he asked me a little bit. Yeah, I was going to say, we're both excited, right? You probably saw me. I've been around a little bit about my background. I'm former Viral Launch employee. So I was on the software side. I also sold and worked with a company called Evergreen Enterprises out of Richmond, Virginia, and they had 10,000 SKUs that we were wholesaling and basically selling to retail stores, but also selling online to Wayfair.com, Zulily. We had retail in Pier 1. We were doing Home Depot. Our products were everywhere around the world: Canada, Mexico, UK. But my job was to sell and build a brand up from literally $0 and work with affiliate marketing, coupon sites, as well as blog sites. And I built our business from literally 0 to 6 figures my first year doing that, and then 7 figures my second year. So know a lot about the influencer space, know a lot about the coupon and deals psychology space, but I'm here to talk to you guys about saving money. So the company I work for today is called Ping Pong Payments. No, not the table tennis company. We don't manufacture or distribute any sort of ping pongs or paddles or tables or anything like that. So don't call us for that. We actually are a cross-border payments solution. And what that means is when you send money internationally, anytime it exchanges currencies, that's where you're going to save money. Now, recently, obviously, you've heard a lot about Amazon's payment service provider network that they're rolling out, and you have to be a participant in that. And that is one of the we are one of those companies, actually. Rob, I'm allowed to say it now. We're one of those companies that are a participant in those programs. So what that means is that instead of using a bank to send your or wire money over to your supplier overseas, instead of getting charged those bank fees, those wire fees, those international foreign exchange fees that your supplier are passing on to you, the seller, our solution actually helps you save money. And that's actionable money that you can put to your bottom line that same day. So signing up, it's free to sign up. Our solution actually, we only charge 1%. Banks, PayPal, wire fees, they can be as high as 3, 4, 5%. So it's ridiculous amount the savings of 2 to 4% you could put back to your bottom line. Invest in more product, invest in more resources, put it towards advertising, so on and so forth. So that's about the sending money. You can pay your VAs through us. You can pay your suppliers. You can pay your freelancers all through us by saving and sending out to 160 different currencies internationally. That's part one. Part two is receiving. So hopefully a lot of you are on your way to becoming awesome sellers and building your brand, and you're going to expand your global footprint internationally. The second thing you're going to want to know about is when you do that, you're going to start receiving currencies in the UK if you sell in the UK. So you're going to be receiving the pound. If you're selling in Europe, like in Germany, which is the second largest Amazon market right now, you're going to be receiving the euro. If you're selling in Mexico, you're going to be receiving the Mexican peso, Canada, Canadian dollar, Japan, the Japanese yen, so on and so forth. If you're in those markets, you need a way to convert that over, because what Amazon does, and they don't tell you this, and this is kind of the fun little secret, they do that for the convenience. We'll exchange that over for you guys, but they do it at a cost. Shocker. Like another Amazon fee that we have to look out for. So what we do, Ping Pong Payments, we step in. We actually work with tier 1 banks around the world, Citibank, Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, HSBC. If you say, what are the top 10 bank brands in the world? We're probably working with almost all of them. So you actually get a bank account through them, and you can actually convert money, have a receiving account in those kinds of currencies. So if I'm receiving in the UK and I have a pound, I can hold it in the pound when I'm ready to convert it over to USD if I'm a United States seller, or if I'm in Mexico and I need to convert that money over to the Mexican peso, I can do that as well. So no matter where you are in the world, you're going to be saving money when you convert those funds to a different currency. It's really simple and straightforward. I promise to answer any and all of your questions, but basically taking that fee that otherwise you'd be paying with Amazon or a bank or any other entity and saving it with a solution like us. And again, there's other solutions out there. We like to tell we're the best, but other solutions like Payoneer, TransferWise, OFX, there's a lot out there, but make sure you're taking advantage of the money that's not being left on the table. Put that towards your bottom line, put that towards your inventory, put it towards advertising. In solutions like us, we're going to help you do that. So long story short, that's kind of what we do in a nutshell. We did about $25 billion in transactions last year alone, and that's going to continue to skyrocket as e-commerce grows. So not just e-commerce or Amazon sellers, but you can take advantage of us if you can use us if you are on Shopify, if you sell on like Mercado Libre, I'm trying to think of other platforms like Wish, any kind of those marketplaces. It's really going to keep it all in-house, so you have one place where you can send and receive funds all over the world. So that's kind of my little spiel, my little thing. Questions? I guess let's open up for questions, I guess, Rob, right?
Yep. But just real quick, Ryan, because I've seen 5 people ask this. Seriously,
they're
how do they
through, man? I sparked something. I hit a nerve, I guess.
They keep asking for the website or for how they get a hold of you, basically.
Yeah. So my email address is ryan.kramer, and that's CRAMER at pingpongx.us. So I'll make sure I put it in the chat for everyone to do. Yep. And then also, I believe, do we have a special offer, Rob, with all y'all's?
I think you do, but it's fine. You can just contact you directly.
Yeah, contact me directly. We'll make sure that your first month, obviously, you're saving with us, and those fees are $0 for your first month using us. It's a really big deal to make sure that you guys are, Etsy. So any marketplaces. So this is Etsy. This is like everyone, to be clear, it's opening up basically a digital bank account on your behalf, and you can receive funds from up to 10 different currencies. And someone asked me this question. You can receive in USD. You can receive in Canadian dollar, the Mexican peso, the British pound, the euro, and then you get kind of crazy, the Australian dollar, AED, which is the United Emirates. So if you're in the Middle East, you can start, and you're selling in the Middle East, you can start receiving an AED. You have the Japanese yen. So if you're selling in the 3rd largest marketplace in the world, that happens to be Japan on Amazon, that you can receive in Japanese yen. Australian dollar, I said that, and then Hong Kong dollar, and then Singapore dollar is the last one for the bonus round. I believe off the top of my head, I'm getting really good at that. So, but yeah, so
hold on, we got more. We got lots.
Look at all these questions.
I know, right?
This content is brought to you by AccrueMe, the business-friendly funding solution for Amazon sellers. If you are a profitable Amazon seller looking for capital to grow your profits, click the link around this video or visit AccrueMe.com for a no-risk funding estimate in less than 3 minutes.
Patricio, I'm seeing quite a few people are asking about elaborating a little more on the bundling type stuff. And why is it? I mean, I get people all the time on the podcast and everybody talks about bundling, but why is nobody doing this more? I mean, seriously, bundling, I think, is such a easy way to make more money and better margins. A few people asked about that. Why don't you touch on that a little more?
Yeah, and absolutely, and not only is it an easier way to increase your margins, but it also helps to open up doors with suppliers. There are many suppliers that won't be thrilled or won't want you to be selling their products on Amazon because they might already have a number of sellers, right? But they might not have any problem with you bundling creating bundles with their products. So that opens up another possibility to show results, to start selling a brand that might not be let you sell otherwise. And as you launch your products and show results, you can come back to the brand and say, hey, remember, I'm selling this and this product. These are my results. This is what I've done for you. Instead, look at what your products are doing. Look at the sellers that you already have. Look at what they're doing, and let me carry these and these SKUs, and I'll show you the same results. So there's a lot of things that come out of doing this type of things, and you're gonna, like I said, you're gonna learn to do new things, launch products, and do other things that then you can apply to whatever else you're doing on your private labels or your wholesale. But I mean, I think it's just there are some people that are, I don't know, that might be scared of creating new products and launching a new bundle. But again, you're leveraging on an existing brand that already has traffic. The product you're gonna sell is probably, if it's selling well on Amazon, then you're gonna attract some of that traffic. So I think it's a matter of focus. There's so much information about doing this one method or doing the other, that there's a lot of people just missing in between the things that you could be doing, right? So I mean, I'd say just don't be scared of selling of launching new products, and if you choose your products right, and if you do your research, then you'll be good to go. You'll be safe in launching those products.
Absolutely. Okay, so I've got one for you. I want Don, because Don and I have done a lot of podcasts together, and I'd love for Don. Don's got these great stories about how people have used AccrueMe to literally double their company or pretty much double their business and make more money. Don, jump on here. You've got a few different stories, but pick your best one and tell everybody a little bit about how they've used us to double their business pretty much. So go for it, Don.
Sure. My favorite stories, truthfully, is our first client that we didn't even know. We didn't have any underwriting. We didn't have a system. We literally gave them money and just, said a little prayer that, we'd get it back one day. And what ended up happening was they took the money and they increased their business, and they did really, really well. They increased, maybe by double in that first year. But then in the second year, they came back and they said, we want some more money. And we gave them more money. And we're not talking about big numbers. I think initially it was like $20,000, and they came back for $5,000, then they came back for another $10,000. Well, in that second year, with the additional money, they increased their revenue. I'm trying to remember the exact numbers. They increased their revenue by 600%, and their profits by 800%. It was an unbelievable result, and it was literally life-changing. When we spoke with them, they said, we never could have done it without you guys. We didn't have the money, and they didn't. They're wonderful people, wonderful couple, and they got burned in a previous business deal and didn't have the capital. And now they're taking down literally taking out of the business about $125,000 or more in profits for them to live on while the business is still at the higher level. So it's an amazing thing to see. And you just got to love when you see things like that. But Robbie, let me add one more thing to this without going into too many stories just yet. Talking about how do you double your business and your profits on Amazon. I think I can easily get people halfway there. So increase, instead of 100%, I can easily get you a 50% increase. And I'll explain it to you in 2 minutes, really easy. Simple example. And Mark touched on it a little bit. I'm just going to use a little bit of a different example. $10,000. You have $10,000 that you're investing in inventory. And I'm going to use the same number that Mark used, that you're earning 20%. All right. That's great. You're earning $2,000. And presumably, if I give you another $10,000, you're going to earn 20% on that. So you're going to earn another $2,000. Right? It all makes sense. And if I was Mark, I would say, are you all tracking with me now? He's much more professional than me. So you're earning $2,000 on your $10,000. We give you 10, you're earning another 2,000. Well, in that situation, AccrueMe is 50% of the capital of your business, but we're not asking for 50% of the profits. For that month, and only for as long as you use our money, we're going to get a percentage of the profits. For that month, since we're 50%, cut that number in half. We get 25% of the profits. So just think about it. You went from earning $2,000 a month to now earning $3,000. So you got $3,000 of the $4,000 in profit. AccrueMe did great, got $1,000. Thrilled. Well, what did you just do? You went from $2,000 or 20% ROI to $3,000, 30% ROI. What was your increased risk? You didn't borrow any money. You didn't use any of your own money, any more of your own money. All you did was leverage your business without taking on any debt, without having to make payments, without having any interest, without giving up any ownership in your business. You increased your business and you increased your profits, I should say, by 50%. So that's halfway there. I think the other experts on this panel can easily get them the other halfway there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's 100% true. When we talk about doubling, right, we're talking about every one of these little things we're talking about does something for you. It helps you either save money or helps you like increase your profits. And we're getting tons of questions still on the bundling thing, but that could be a whole nother segment. Me and Patricio could get on probably a podcast and do a whole thing on bundling, but we'll save that for another time because we do still have lots more questions coming in. So yeah, keep them coming in, everybody. I do appreciate it, and we are happy to touch on some of these things, but we are trying to keep this a little more high level because I know everybody has their own individual story that they want answers. And for those, contact us directly, any one of us. If it's somebody specific, like we're getting a lot of questions about Ryan, and it would probably take up the whole episode to ask Ryan these 2 or 3 questions.
I win.
Right? And same
what
with,
do I win?
Same with
What's my prize, Rob?
Right? Yeah, you get to stay on the podcast or on here. So that's your prize. So anyways, we got lots more to go. Keep those questions coming. Is there a mentorship along with the capital? So I think that was for you, Don. They're basically asking, do they get help other than money? I think.
Yeah. So we work hand in hand with Patricio and with a whole team of people with Algo. So all of our clients have a bunch of really qualified, not me, I'm not the qualified guy, but the really qualified Amazon people that will help you and help you grow. And then on top of that, when you need help from a business standpoint, between myself and my partner, Eric, we've built so many businesses. Robbie has built and sold 2 7-figure businesses. We can help you in so many different ways. And we have, even as far as silly as this is going to sound, one of our clients asked us to review some contracts for them. We're fine. We want to help you succeed. Remember, at AccrueMe, we only win when you win. We only earn money when you earn money. When you don't earn money, we get nothing, zero. And I just want to remind everybody that we do have that extra $500 today. You've never heard us do this before. where, you know, anybody that applies today, okay, if you apply today and then we fund you, you get an extra $500 for free for more inventory. So it just makes all the sense in the world. Apply today. I mean, you got nothing to lose. So go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and if you do apply and get that 500, thank Don and I, because we came up with that idea. So, right? Always fun. So,
Ryan.
What?
So
I know. I'm chatting with everyone over here. I'm trying to answer questions, Don.
I know, right? So just real quick, because I want the panel to be able to stay on topic. So I know everybody's asking about how to contact all these people. Look, at the end, I will make sure that they get to plug their email and their information, so you guys can stop asking questions about how do I get a hold of Ryan, or people that want dates with Liz, or, you know, is Don single? You know, everybody knows right. Patricio is the best looking on here. So yeah, and do I shave my head every day? Yes, I do. So there we go. All right, so we got lots more. Liz, I think your mic's off or something there. So take a look at that. Are you still there? She's gonna check. We'll keep it going.
It was the theme of 2020. You're on mute.
Oh, there, yeah, right there you are. Nice. All right, so we got lots of questions coming in. Everybody keeps asking about the videos. Yes, I'm aware, and I covered this at the very beginning. We are recording all these, but it could be a while before we get to these videos. We are absolutely swamped right now. So yes, there will be videos, but it could be quite a while from now before you actually get a chance to see them. Our video editor is pretty busy and pretty slammed right now. So let's see, how do you your money compare to pay? Okay, you want a comparison? After we're done, go to our blog and look at our case study if you want a comparison against payability. There, answered your question. So apply. If you want to apply, 3 minutes on our website through the form. Don, who collects the money from the partner investment, the seller or AccrueMe?
Yeah, so I want to just go back to what you just said, though, with payability, because, you know, payability, some people would call them a competitor, but I would say to you that, you know, there's good reasons to use payability from time to time. But what happens is you're basically borrowing your own money for a short period of time, and you're paying to borrow your own money. So it's all fine, but it's really not for growth. If you need money to just continue along and you need to bridge the gap, that's perfect. But if you're really looking to grow your business, then what AccrueMe does is the only way to do it, truthfully, because, you know, not making those monthly payments, not taking your profits that you could be putting towards more inventory and sending it to a bank just doesn't make any sense. And I don't know about you, but I'm getting some feedback. Are you guys getting it?
Just a smidge. That's all right.
Sounded like a truck going by.
Don, let me tell just a quick story here of lessons learned in this business. When after probably a couple of years after we started, we were selling through a ton of inventory. We were probably at our highest revenue that we were doing. We were really just pushing through a ton of inventory with wholesale, and so we took out one of those loans, one of those companies that target Amazon sellers, just a credit, regular credit with that was an expensive credit. But actually, what ended up happening is it's exactly what you said. We thought that was like, well, the more money we can have to buy more product, right? The faster we're going to grow. So we thought of it as a growth tool, rather than to cover like some expenses, like as a bridge loan. So we thought of it as a growth tool. And what ended up happening with our business in wholesale was that, well, when you buy product and send it to Amazon and you start selling through that inventory, but you still have product on your inventory. It's gonna take some time to sell through the inventory and get the money back, but you still have to make those monthly payments to the bank. So it gets to a point where, well, you need to replenish that inventory to get back to receiving those larger payments that give you enough cushion to make your payments and still buy inventory. But as you are paying the bank instead of replenishing, right, you're left in the middle with no money left to replenish as you would need to, right? And then you're still paying this the bank or your loan in the case of a regular loan. So I would say we learned that lesson. We almost, I mean, we were at one point we almost ran out of cash by doing this. So the lesson we learned there is if you're working to pay off every month a loan that they're not going to wait. They don't care about your inventory. They don't care if the inventory got stuck in customs somewhere. Like they don't care. They want their money. So your interest is really not aligned with or their interest is really not aligned with theirs. So I think I love what AccrueMe does, because it actually like lets you put that money to use in what you need it for, which is inventory and growth, rather than worrying about paying somebody else on schedule.
I just want to jump in real quick, Rob, because I'm going to put what you just said, Patricio, in finance terms. Don't finance, long-term purchases. So building a business with short-term money, you will always lose in the end. And that means credit cards too. Whether people like it or not, I've seen too many people, they go out and they get 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 credit cards, and then they're juggling and juggling and juggling. One thing goes wrong, you're done. You're done. That's it. You'll never recover from that. So, don't finance a long-term inventory or long-term project, a business with short-term money. It just never will work. It's absolutely painful.
Yeah, absolutely. So Don, stay on real quick, because we got somebody asking for another example. They're basically saying if they have 20,000 in capital and they take 10,000 from AccrueMe, what percentage would you take? So
Sure. So, the AccrueMe percentage changes every month. So we only earn a percentage of the profits based upon how much capital we have in compared to you. So in your case, you have $20,000 and we give you 10,000. So there's $30,000 in the business, right? 30,000. And AccrueMe represents 10,000. So 30% of the business, right? So you would think we would want 30% of the profits. Cut our percentage in half. So we would get 15% of the profits for that month. But now what happens? You just earned 70% of the profits. So imagine if you earned 70, you earned 85% of the profits. We earned 15% of the profits, right? You got that? We're 70-30, right? So we're 15% of the profits. You got 85. Imagine we both left all the money in. Your capital in month 2 will be much higher than AccrueMe's will. So AccrueMe won't be 30% of the capital month 2. We might be 28% of the capital. Means in month 2, we would get 14% of the profit. And again, you're getting a bigger share. So in month 3, we might be, 12% of the profit and so forth. So it changes every month. We monitor it. We have a system that does it. You see it every single day. And it's much more simple than it sounds. It's just new. That's why it sounds a little different. It's just new.
Absolutely. All right. So there's actually a question here for Liz and Patricio. It says, do you think it's good to do ads with wholesale? What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, you have to be winning the buy box for your ad to show up. But if you're consistently winning the buy box and the competition, you're not like one of, like, say 100 sellers on the same ASIN. I mean, if you've got an exclusive with your supplier and you're the only seller of the ASIN, then absolutely yes, as a wholesale seller, you should advertise. But if you're a reseller and you're winning the buy box, you absolutely can. I would, like as Patricio said, I would bid low. I would seek out those long tail keywords rather than the big expensive ones. Do you want to weigh in on this one?
Yeah, Liz. So I absolutely do it. I mean, I like running campaigns on my wholesale products, just because, like Liz said, if you are buy box eligible, then you can run a campaign, and in the end, you can end up having a larger share of the buy box of the total sales. Let's say that the total sales for the day. Because you're rotating on the buy box as everybody else is, but you also have campaigns running, that means somebody searching for your product is gonna go to the product through your ad rather than organically clicking on the page result. So in the end, you're gonna end up winning more buy box than your competition. And then if you are doing a correct ad strategy, ad campaign, where you can keep your ACOS low, your bid low, you're going after those keywords that are more profitable, you're gonna end up selling more, and it's gonna have a cost, obviously. But if you have the margin and you can afford that campaign, you're going to have the volume, you're going to have more sales, and you're still profitable. So yeah, absolutely. I think, but it's one of those things where you want to know what you're doing. You want to know what you're doing, and you want to start small, start bidding low, and go up, and just improve your campaigns, as opposed to when you're doing a launch for a new product, for a private label product. You want to go high, you want to be broad, you want to bring all the data, right, so to gain exposure and start getting traction and rank. But in wholesale, you don't need that. So yeah, but absolutely, it's something that maybe for the more advanced sellers, but absolutely you want to be doing that.
Perfect. Don, you got questions rolling in like crazy. How long do they need to be selling on Amazon for AccrueMe to invest?
All right, so yeah, I know you know the answer. It's pretty simple. What we did was we made it very short, just 6 months selling profitably on Amazon. And what we also did was we brought the number down to where the lowest that we will go is $10,000. And people say to us all the time, why would you do that? And our investment bankers say that too. You can make so much more money if you had the bottom the smallest loan being, or the smallest investment being $100,000. We made it $10,000 because we want to help the small guy too. We really do. We want to help not just the biggest guys that have 10 accounts. We want to have thousands of accounts of small and medium-sized sellers. We love the big ones too, but we want to really help the guys sell. And I saw another question real quick on, how does AccrueMe get paid? And I apologize for not getting into that. I come to just expect that. I've said it already. I guess I haven't. But we get paid when it's right for you and your business. So think about how innovative that is. Instead of saying you have to pay us X amount of dollars every month, we earn a small percentage of the profits as long as you use our money. And you can pay us that if you want, or you can tell us, leave it in the business, let it accrue. So it accrues from month to month, okay? So you don't have to pay us. So here's what ends up happening. What's reality? Reality is, in most cases, Q3 and Q4, you're going to be too busy. You're going to have too much going on. You're going to be needing to replenish inventory. You have the opportunity to kill it. We want you to kill it. So I wouldn't expect you to pay us at all in Q3 and Q4. Comes Q1 and Q2, when you might be more flush with cash, don't leave the money in the bank. That's a perfect ideal time to pay some to AccrueMe and bring AccrueMe down. And then AccrueMe earns less as a percentage. It just makes sense. It's you pay us when it's right for you and when it's right for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And then real quick, Don, there was actually a second part to that question, and I messed up. They were asking about funding new products.
Oh, interesting. So, in the private label world, it's, big question is new products and getting the money to start a new product. In the wholesale world, it's typically you're going out, it might be a new product to you, but it's already on Amazon. So we have the numbers. We could figure out how it's selling. But a new product that you've just gone out and created, we don't fund that because we don't know if it's going to be successful. However, we set the account up so that you can take money out, invest in your new product, put it back, you start selling it on Amazon. And as soon as it's profitable for a few months, we'll now start funding you against that product as well. And this enables you to take more money out at that time, start another new product. And it goes like that. But no, we don't fund, unproven products just yet. But once it's proven, and proven is just a few months of profitability, we'll give you money against that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So it looks like a few questions coming in. Actually, we answered on previous sessions. So we had somebody asking about putting basically notes in their packaging, asking for reviews. Don't do that. That'll violate Amazon's TOS.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I come from that role.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely. Liz knows. So don't do it. Yes, we know everybody else does it. They'll get caught eventually. Don't. It's not worth risking your business. We got more questions coming. God, Don, you're a popular guy. Let me tell you. I've got one.
You should have seen me in high school.
I know some of these are quick, actually, Don. So does AccrueMe work with brick and mortar?
No, we're only working with Amazon FBA right now.
Okay. If sales drop or I get suspended, how does that affect my relationship with AccrueMe?
You know, we're in bed together, my friend. So, you know, nothing really happens. And I'm going to give you a quick example, because a year ago, this happened. And it happened in a big way, where we had a number of sellers that couldn't send anything into Amazon because it wasn't the, you know, essential products. And you all know what happened there. So what happened to, we had 3 accounts in particular, big private label sellers who were making a ton of money, and they dropped down to break even. And then one of them started taking losses, and it lasted for 3 months, and they were concerned and came to us and said, you know, what are you guys going to do? And they didn't know each other, but they had the same concern. And we said, we're with you. This is part of business. So what happened? AccrueMe earned zero. So one guy even said to me, because he came over, he had a $100,000 loan from Amazon, and his monthly payments were over $9,000 a month. And he said to me, Don, if I had to make payments right now, I'd be out of business. I said, I get it. And it's true. He would have been out of business. He would be dead in the water. But with us, we just didn't earn any money. We're on the same side of the table as you. When you earn money, we earn money. What you should be doing as a seller, as any of the sellers that are in our group, they should look at AccrueMe and say, I hope AccrueMe does really well. Because you know what? That means that seller's killed it. They made more money than they ever imagined. And if we do poorly, that means the seller's just doing okay. So we get a little bit of what they get, but the whole idea is, you know, they should want us to do well, and we want our sellers to kill it. And that's our whole goal. That's the only way we make money.
Yeah, Patricio, a question came in. What if I'm sharing the buy box with 2 to 5 other sellers on most of my listings? Do I still get the sale, or am I advertising for the other sellers?
Yeah, no, you're not. So when you are running a campaign and Amazon is showing your ad, whoever clicks on your ad is gonna land on the product page with you on the buy box. So,
but you have to be winning the buy box for that to happen.
Yeah, you have to be exactly eligible. Yeah.
But your ad won't show up when you're not winning the buy box. So it's not like somebody will click on your ad and it'll go to somebody else's buy box.
Yeah. Exactly. Yep. And I think this one was directed towards you again, Patricia. I'm finding a lot of brand owners are not allowing you to sell the product, even though you're ungated in this product, or I think the product or category. Mm-hmm. What do you suggest on how to avoid this issue, so I'm not stuck with products in my garage?
Well, I mean,
get a warehouse.
if you already have the product and you're not able to list that product on the brand, you can. That's another way of doing it is bundling that product, creating a bundle. Where I mean, there are certain guidelines that Amazon gives in order for you to create bundles. You cannot just grab a product, let's say a computer, and just add Post-it notes and create a bundle, right? So there's certain guidelines that you need to follow. The products that you're bundling with need to make sense, need to be of a larger value or similar value, and the bundle itself needs to make sense, right? If your main product is I don't know, a set of crayons or crayons, then you can have maybe a small whiteboard or something that makes sense, that goes together, that the other products have at least one more product with the same value or more than than the brand you're restricted on, and then you're able to add that bundle with a different brand, right? So that might be a way to get around that. But there's like specific, you need to follow Amazon guidelines to creating a bundle in order to do that. But I mean, ideally, don't buy any product if you're not sure you can list it before.
Yeah, that's good info. I'd ask Ryan questions, but he keeps answering all his questions. So.
That's what I do, man.
Quit answering all your questions, right? So I can ask you.
I put the personal touch on everything, everyone.
You do.
Don't worry.
I'm not leaving Ryan out. He just keeps answering all his questions. Okay, let's see.
Oh, here's one I didn't. Here's one I didn't answer. Someone asked about Payoneer, and I'll talk about our competitor, guys. Payoneer just got acquired for like $3.5 billion like a week ago, which is crazy. Wow. If you work with Payoneer, that's awesome. They've been around for 15 years. That's a fantastic company. But you know what? If you haven't asked the question yet of how much in fees they're charging you, that's where companies like Ping Pong come into play, or like TransferWise or OFX. I'm super transparent of like who our competition is, because if you're not shopping around, just like a car, if you're not getting the best deal and saving the most money, then you're not working with the best company. So whoever it is, make sure you go to them. If they're an account manager and they're saying, you ask them, how much am I paying per transaction? If they say anything north of 1%, start calling the competition right away. Because like for us, we don't go higher than 1%. That's just me. But if you can use Ping Pong to leverage your rate with Payoneer or TransferWise, good for you. But we're going to work our butts off to make sure we're saving you the most money. That's how we make money, is like making sure that we have customers first and foremost, and that the more you send and receive and work with us and use us, the more we help you grow and save money and make money. So that's how it is. Payoneer is fantastic. They've just been around longer. We have very similar capabilities. We just partner directly with tier 1 banks, but whoever you like the best, we're strictly focused on e-commerce. If you want a solution just focused on Amazon or business to business solutions, that's great. If you want someone to use to pay out like for pizza, like, hey, Rob, I'm going to pay you through like TransferWise for pizza. Great. Use TransferWise. Don't come with us. We're all focused on business and growing business.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good one. So Patricio, another one came in. I bought a product that looks like it is selling under a brand. Can I bundle it with another product, same category? That's an interesting one. Oh, your mic. You got to turn your mic on. By the way, I love Ryan used the same phrase as us. You only make money when we make money. So there you go. Go ahead, Patricio. Go ahead.
So you can, as long as you are following Amazon guidelines for creating a bundle. Yes, you can bundle two different products together, and I'd say if you can bundle more than two, there has to be a similar value at least on those the two of those products. Then you can create a bundle and list it with a different brand. But again, it has to make sense what you're doing. If you are adding a valuable product and then just a pencil or a Post-it note, then that won't fly with Amazon. But if you are creating something that is of value to people that are buying that product, that makes sense, that go together, you're creating a positive customer experience for the Amazon buyer, then you'll be safe.
Yep, that's a good one. There's some really interesting questions coming in. Don, if I didn't earn any money, do I still have to return AccrueMe investment back?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a good question, and it's an important question. So yeah,
we've been asked that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love, I don't know who asked it, but the key word there was investment. So that's what we do. We're not lending money. We're investing in your business for a temporary period of time, just as long as you use our money. That's it. So yes, our capital invested in your business takes priority. So here's the reality of it. Yes, our money comes back first. But reality is, let's say you had 10,000 and we put in 10,000. And then you didn't make any money 1 month. And then you didn't make any money the next month. We would be looking at your products and helping you, correct the issues in your business before you got to the point of losing your shirt and having to close your business and give us our money back. We would help you turn that whole thing around before you got there. So that's just reality of how it actually works. But yes, our capital takes priority.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm getting quite a few questions. I'll answer this one. So a lot of people are asking about the contract between AccrueMe. So go to our website, fill out the 3-minute application. Once you get that done, one of us will contact you. And yes, we have a sample of the contract, so to speak, that you can take a look at. And, before basically going further, because we understand you want to see the contract. So yeah, several people that. And then Patricio,
Rob, can I just add on to that real quick? Just real quick, 1 second. There's no risk here. We didn't set this up so that it's positive for the seller for no reason. We set it up positive for the seller all the way through. If you apply, you're not taking any risk. You're not giving us your credit card. You're not giving us your social security number. There's no risk. We give you an investment proposal. What do? We get on the phone with you and we walk you through it. There is no pressure. We're not asking you to be under pressure. We give you time to review it. We come back to you. We get back on the phone again and review it again because we want to make sure that you understand everything because it's new. It's better, but it's new. So we're going to help walk you through with no pressure and no risk. And then at the very end, you can decide if you want to do this and then sign papers. But that's at the very, very end, and you'll know everything before then. I promise you that. So go ahead. I just had to jump in.
Yeah, that's all right. Patricio, they're asking about how you go about finding suppliers.
There's we have a whole module in our course on how to do it. It would take me a couple of hours to go through all that. But there's you got to be creative. It doesn't matter like where you live. There's probably suppliers in your town, in your state. You always have the internet. I absolutely love analyzing my competition to find out good suppliers and good products like somebody else. You will find sellers that have been doing this longer than you have and that have more resources for research than you do. So use their work and analyze them and see what they're selling and just be creative and keep looking for good products and good suppliers. Every time you go out on a store, be on the lookout for good stuff. So there's a ton of ways to do it. And again, if you need, if anyone here wants more information, wants to get in touch with me, I can certainly give you some tips and some pointers. You can send me an email. I'll put on my email on the chat so you can get a hold of me.
Also, don't underestimate the power of networking. Like I was saying about those Facebook groups before, there are Facebook groups that you can join. There are forums and there are people that share information. They might have a supplier. They might not want to sell that particular supplier's thing anymore because they're moving more into a private label model. The tides are always changing. So networking with other people that are also Amazon sellers is a good way to find suppliers, and working with people like Patricio who actually have proven methods are good. Don't just watch every single YouTube video out there about it.
Yeah.
And don't rely strictly on Alibaba either. Not to slam Alibaba, but there are better, more profitable ways to do it. And there are people like Mekla. She helps you source in India, and there are people out there that can help you. So talk to Patricio.
Absolutely. So we only have about 5 more minutes or so. There's lots of questions coming in. I see Don's answering my questions too. Thanks, Don.
Rob, you've been doing this all day, man. We're trying to help.
Yeah, but what I don't like is they say thanks to you, but not to me. Hey.
It's 'cause I've got the better haircut. So anyway.
That's for sure.
Yeah, it's been great. So yeah, we definitely, we can ask a few more questions if you want to throw a few more questions up, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap up. And before we wrap up, we'll make sure everybody gives out their contact information. And don't forget the $500 offer is today only at AccrueMe. We'll make sure to flash that up at the end of the session so you see it again. Not quite yet, but so Don, why don't you kind of just go? We'll just kind of go a little round table, a little wrap up. Any last things you want to mention, and then go ahead and plug at the end there.
I have to say, again, I've started and built many, many, many businesses. And sometimes your back is against the wall as an entrepreneur. And anybody that's watching this, anybody that's been here, everybody in this panel will attest to something I saw on this guy's refrigerator a long time ago. It said, sometimes owning your own business is as overrated as mom's apple pie. And it's a true statement, because sometimes it's tough to be an entrepreneur. And sometimes it is unbelievably great. So I'm just going to leave you with, I'm going to encourage you, if you're going through tough times, you're going to overcome it. Don't stop. Just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. Keep taking one step after another. Get up a little bit early the next day. Make your plan the night before. Get up and make it happen. And I'm telling you, I have confidence you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ryan, before I pass it to you real quick, I think I maybe missed the question. So everybody keeps asking about the country. We don't care what country you're in, as long as you sell on Amazon USA and you have an LLC in the US and a tax ID number. Okay, so hopefully that answered the 5 people that keep asking me over and over. Ryan, go ahead. Any last thoughts?
Yeah, I think for those of you who are selling, if you're internationally selling into .com, that's fantastic. I think AccrueMe obviously would help, and same with Ping Pong and lots of other people on this panel. But if you're in the United States and you're trying to expand internationally and go outward, that's another place where we help people. Like, it's saving money. You're receiving currencies from all over the world. It's really confusing, and that's where we're trying to educate people. Is instead of not jumping into an exciting market like in Germany or the UK or Japan or Mexico or Canada, like, there's a lot of easier ways in education out there. So feel free to email me directly. It's ryan.kramer@pingpongx.us. But also, if you want to just learn about the Amazon industry, I'll shamelessly plug my podcast. It's called Crossover Commerce. I've had Don on, I've had Rob on. I know I will have Liz on eventually, but we're doing a webinar later this month, so we're covered there. But just in general, there's so many different high level minds that I go live, so I answer questions like this all day. That's why I'm furiously typing away, because Rob knows I answer these in person. But go ahead and search us on YouTube, Ping Pong Payments. Just search for that, or you can just reach out on social media as well. Just search my name, Ryan Kramer.
Yep, absolutely. And real quick, I think Don had a typo. I fixed it. So it's don@accrueme.com. Sorry about that.
What do you mean you fixed it? I fixed it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I got my moderators messaging me, telling me. Liz, go ahead with your final thoughts.
It's tough. It's still the Wild West. It's the biggest opportunity in e-commerce, but Amazon is a bear. And you've got to know who to trust and who not to trust. And I think you can trust all the people on this panel, and there are other people too, but just pay attention to Amazon's rules. Keep your nose clean. Don't be a cowboy or cowgirl or cow person. Don't break the rules on purpose. And if you've got questions about anything, again, Takeometrics is mainly geared toward advertising. We're also doing marketplace insights now. We've got inventory controls, other stuff coming in Flywheel 2.0. If you're at a place where you're interested in that, just contact me. I'll put my email in the chat. But again, I don't have a podcast, but if you've got questions about the buy box, or you have questions about product reviews or something like that, I'm wide open, I'm available, and I just want to help you. So thanks.
That's what all the cool kids do, Liz. It's that or a Clubhouse. Come on.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Clubhouse thing later. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to listen. I'm curious.
All the cool kids are there. Ryan, you're on Clubhouse, right? Oh, wait, not yet.
I will. I have an iPad coming. Rob, I have an iPad coming.
Oh, you have an iPad coming? Okay.
Yeah.
I specifically have an invite waiting for Ryan. So, anyways.
I'm making it happen. The people will get what the people want.
Exactly. Patricio, go ahead with final thoughts and wrap up.
Okay. I am on Clubhouse, so let's connect there. Anyone that's on there too. So I mean, I'm gonna say for anyone wanting to grow their Amazon business, there's like Lee said, there's a ton of things you can be doing. You have to be careful. You have to know what you're doing. And if anyone here ever wants to, whether you are selling already, maybe global, if you have a brand, anyone that might be interested in the Mexican market, we can certainly help you reaching that market and dealing with Amazon Mexico, which every Amazon market has their own logistics to work around. But if anyone wants to be on Amazon Mexico, wants somebody that knows the market, knows how to navigate those waters, feel free to send me an email, reach out, and I'll be happy to help.
Absolutely. That's great info. And Patricio, you got to get on, well, first I got to get you on my podcast, then you got to get on Ryan's for sure. So
yeah,
we'll get you on both of those. So once again, everybody, hang tight because we are getting all the contact information into the chat. And don't forget, today only, you have to sign up today at AccrueMe.com. It only takes 3 minutes to fill out the form. You get an extra $500 once we fund towards your inventory. So make sure you do that today. You got to fill that out today. I think I think we're going to splash the screen with the info. Hopefully Maximus is paying attention. So hit that screen, but keep us on in the corner there, Maximus. And we'll try to, if there is any last questions, we only have like a minute or two left. Hopefully Maximus or Ben or somebody's paying attention. Hit us with that 500. There we go. Now we're talking. Nice. So yeah. Again, I'm Rob Stanley, Chief Marketing Officer. If you need to get a hold of me, it's Rob, R-O-B, at AccrueMe.com, or any of the social media you can find me. It's probably under Robbie, R-B-B-Y. And hit Don on LinkedIn. He always loves getting hit up on LinkedIn. Except
I do.
It's Donald Hennon.
That's right.
There you go. See, I know. I talk to him all the time.
Very good.
So, yeah, once again, I appreciate everybody. Liz, Patricio, Ryan, and of course, Don, thanks for being on here. And it was a great summit. It was a long summit. We had hiccups and everything, but hopefully everybody got a lot of good information out of it. And again, be sure to visit app.accrueme.com or just go to accrueme.com, fill out the form, and be eligible to get that $500. So thanks again, everyone, for being on. I appreciate all the panelists and everybody.
Great job, Robbie.
Thank you.
Great job, Robbie.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.